Good evening. You're watching CNN News 18. I'm Arunima. Big focus this hour is on Leicester. In September this year, violence had broken out between Hindus and Muslims of this area after an India-Pakistan cricket match. British newspapers and channels had then reported, quoting eyewitnesses, that Hindu extremists triggered the clash. But now a British think tank in its report says no evidence has been found either about the role of Hindu extremists or RSS. So what really happened? Was this a conspiracy to defame RSS and the Hindu community? If so, who is behind this conspiracy? These are questions that we will seek answers to in the next half an hour with our panelists on the show and our editor on ground there in UK, Sanjay Suri. Sanjay Suri is joining us live from London. Binay Kumar Singh, author and columnist. Deshratan Nigam, lawyer and political analyst, as well as Suman C. Raman, political analyst. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us. But before I come to you, let me just tell my viewers what this report is all about. This is the first report into the cause of the recent Hindu-Muslim clashes in Leicester, which has been released. The report by the Henry Jackson Society, the HJS, which is a UK-based think tank, has stated that there is no evidence of any Hindutva or RSS extremism that has been found. The report further concludes that a group of social media influencers, some with links to terrorism, peddled this quote-unquote fake narrative to stir up tension and instigate violence. Now, as per Charlotte Littlewood, a research fellow at HJS and former counter-extremism coordinator, a fake narrative of RSS terrorists being behind the unrest was peddled by social media influencers to rally Muslims from across the UK to attend the protest. So that is what the report says. Sanjay Suri, if you can come in on that, what is the report saying? That the clash happened, but the way it was fueled further, it led to more clashes, a series of incidents. This was a conspiracy which was behind this conspiracy. There were social media influencers who wanted the Hindus and the Muslims to clash. Is that the sum total of what the report is saying?
Well, social media influencers is putting it a little mildly. We're talking about someone like Majid Freeman, who has praised ISIS, offered prayers publicly for ISIS, supported calls for the killing of Salman Rushdie, and this is a person who has been leading the campaign to incite Muslims against Hindus. He issued several tweets that were false, were established to be false. The police confirmed they were false. He later withdrew these, but that was after the damage had been done. He spread lies, and these were tweets that got a number of followers, a very large number of followers, and they were out on the streets attacking Hindus in their homes, attacking their property, their cars, vandalizing their places, attacking places of worship. And all this was inspired by him and his follower, Muhammad Hijab. And then people like Muhammad Hijab were interviewed on Channel 4. And the media multiplied this. The media kept multiplying this imagined Hindutva conspiracy. And this report establishes there was, in fact, no evidence of any what you may call a Hindutva conspiracy on the ground, that this was a localized issue among very small groups of people, but this was used by these so-called influencers, as we say, and also that message and that false message was then multiplied by media to project this false demonized view of Hindutva campaign underway inspired from India. This report finds there is no evidence of this, and that on the contrary, it is these supposed influencers who have been inciting people on the basis of false information.
So this was a localized issue that was utilized to foment more trouble and cause, create a picture to show that Hindus and Muslims there were clashing. That is what Sanjay Suri is telling us from Ground Zero. Deshratan Nigam, first reaction to these new facts which are emerging.
Mr. Suri, that was a localized issue, which was in fact by the liberals, jihadis, through their so-called influencers and other persons, and some media houses also was blown out of proportion. One, if you recall, these elements had actually vandalized places out there and Hindu temples as well. And the kind of issues which have been brought out is something about Hindus is very defamatory. Hindus are quite simple. They never indulge in riots as a community. And especially these riots had taken place when India had won. So it was the Pakistani jihadi elements, whom they call influencers, who love ISIS, who love Taliban, were behind all this trouble. And bringing in the name of RSS has become a fashion. And in fact, it is Hindu Seva Sangh which exists out there, not the RSS. And they do a lot of social service out there. They are in the forefront of social service. And the Hindus in United Kingdom or anywhere in the world, through their hard work, passion, commitment to the countries they live, have risen to the highest level, whether it is in the field of bureaucracy, whether it is in the field of politics or corporate sector. They are doing very well. This is not liked by the jihadi elements. The per capita income of the Indians, I would say, is much, much higher compared to the Pakistanis. Pakistanis at the one of the lowest ends of the, social chain. So these people were actually responsible, and there is an entire cabal, entire gang out there which is functioning to defame Hindus. Hindus being very tolerant. Hindus by nature, as I've always maintained, are universal or global citizens. They believe in the country in which they, live. They consider it motherland and never indulge in any form of extremism or intolerance or terrorism. So this kind of, false narrative will never stick on Hindus. They may try their best. They may do it through their influencers or ISIS lovers for a small time, for a transient period. But at the same time, Hindus have to organize themselves so such kind of things do not happen again.
Right.
And also do lobbying, because once you stay in a foreign country, you got to work with the system. You got to do lobbying as it is done by Pakistanis, and then take everybody along. And Indians have made their place. They